Hi guys, I'm Michelle with The Recipe Bandit, and today we're going to be making our own hummus. We're going to make hummus at home. This is an easy recipe. It is really flavorful. It is really simple to put together, and it takes just regular pantry ingredients, our favorite kinds of recipes. Hummus is super easy. Hummus has been around for years and years and years. It originated in the Middle East. It's a simple dip or spread made with chickpeas and some lemon, some tahini, some garlic. It's delicious and it's really expensive at the grocery store. And I don't know why. Now that I've figured out how to make it, I don't know why. And when you make hummus at home, it tastes so much better than the store-bought stuff. Now you can make all sorts of varieties of hummus. You can put all sorts of things in there and create your own flavors. We're going to start today with just a basic hummus. The work is all done by this little food processor right here. And you want a little food processor. You don't want a great big one for this because you're only going to use one can. The total time to make this is about 10 minutes, and then I like to chill it, but you don't have to. So let's go ahead and get started talking about what you're going to need to make this easy and delicious recipe. So to make hummus at home, you don't need a lot of fancy ingredients. You're going to need a can of garbanzo beans or chickpeas, whatever you want to call them. They are used interchangeably. This is a 15-ounce can, and we are going to drain these. You're going to need some tahini. Now, tahini is ground sesame seeds. This is probably the most exotic ingredient. And I know that you can make your own tahini, but I am too lazy to grind my own sesame seeds. And one of these little tahini things um, makes a whole lot of hummus and lasts forever. So you will need tahini. You're also going to need a lemon. You can use lemon juice, you can use a fresh lemon, whatever you want to do. We use a medium lemon. We get about 2 tablespoons of juice. That seems to be enough for us in this basic hummus recipe. We also have some garlic. We're using just fresh minced garlic. We have some olive oil, some extra virgin olive oil. We have some cumin. We have some kosher salt and pepper, and we have some everything bagel seasoning. You don't have to use this, but honestly, the everything bagel seasoning mixed in with all of these ingredients, it's delicious. Honestly, it just adds such a great mix of flavors to it because it's already got sesame seeds and garlic, and it just adds the dried in parts and gives it a little texture. So for this recipe, for this version that we are making today, we are going to use this. We do have over here a little paprika. We're going to use this just to finish with. We're going to sprinkle a little bit of paprika on the top when we're done, before we refrigerate it and before we serve it. The paprika is just for show, really. Doesn't really do much for it. We have some ice water here. When we are making the hummus, and I'll point out when we do this, it becomes really thick and you need to kind of get it diluted a little bit so that all those flavors can really meld. You can use ice water for this, 2 to 3 tablespoons, or you can use some of the juice that you've drained off of the chickpeas. I always forget this, either chickpea juice or ice water. The most important thing for this recipe is that we're going to make it in this little food processor. And this is a little food processor. This is not a great big food processor. So this one, everything fits in just fine. Your tahini and your lemon juice, when you mix them together and you whip them, they get nice and fluffy because everything is in contact in here. If you use too big of a food processor, the blades might miss what you're actually trying to blend. So you want a little food processor. Let's make some hummus at home. All right, in the bowl of a small food processor, you're going to combine the tahini and the lemon juice. We are going to whip this together for about a minute and a half, stopping to scrape the sides about a minute in to make it thick and creamy. It's going to make all the difference in our hummus. After about 1 minute, we are going to scrape the sides and then we'll process it for another 30 seconds. But you can see it's almost like a whipped cream texture already. After our 30 seconds, we're now going to add our olive oil, our minced garlic, our cumin, our salt and pepper, and our everything bagel seasoning. We're going to put on the lid and process this for 30 seconds. You can see that on the sides, some has gathered. We are going to scrape down the sides and get all of those seasonings and spices that got stuck to the side. We're going to put the top back on and then process for an additional 30 seconds. We have now created a delicious creamy base for our hummus. And now it's time to start adding the chickpeas. So we have drained them and we're going to add about half of the can. We're going to put the lid on and we're going to process for 1 minute. You can see how it's thickening up and our chickpeas are all getting incorporated into our mixture. We're going to add the remainder of the chickpeas now, and we're going to process this time for 1 to 2 minutes. All right, it's been about a minute. Now we're going to take a look. Our hummus is looking great. It really is. It's nice and thick, looks good, but it might just be a little bit too thick. This is where our cold water is going to come in. We want the hummus to get all incorporated, and there's still a little bit of bean pieces or chickpea pieces, garbanzo beans. We want to blend them in. So we're going to go ahead and add a couple of tablespoons of ice cold water and blend just to make it a little thinner. So we're going to start with 2, and we're going to go ahead and process now for an additional 30 seconds and check it. All right, so after 30 seconds, it's looking pretty good. I like a little thinner. We're going to put 1 more tablespoon of cold water in there. This will be our last process. All right, let's take a look. Oh my goodness, it looks perfect. All right, see, not too thick now. Just the right hummus consistency for dipping, for spreading. So we're going to go ahead and move this into another bowl. We'll switch cameras and we'll take a look at what we've created. So using your little scraper, just scrape it off the blades here into the bowl. Set the blades aside. We prefer to eat this with pita chips or with those little bagel chips. You can serve with vegetables if you like. Now our hummus is finished. So I'm going to just sprinkle with a little paprika for color. We're going to cover and set in the refrigerator for about an hour. Let all those flavors finally finish coming together. But honestly, we've made between 1.5 and 2 cups of hummus, and it took 10 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and put the recipe for this in the description. This kind of a recipe is exactly what we love around here, where we're trying to just make delicious recipes with everyday ingredients. I am so happy that you joined us today. I hope you will come back and see us again. Please like us, please subscribe, please click that notification button in the comments so that you know when we're putting out new videos. We are trying to put them out at least once a week right now. But for now, for today, easy hummus, better than store-bought. Let me know if you try it. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you again soon.